Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Speak English for Beginners. I am Emma, and today I am very happy to practice English with you. Today, we are going to talk about something that affects almost everyone, caring about what other people think. Maybe you want to say something, but you stay quiet because you are afraid people will judge you. Maybe you want to wear something you like, start a new hobby, speak English, make a video, or try something new. But then you think, what will people say? Maybe someone laughs at your mistake, and you remember it for the rest of the day. Maybe one negative comment makes you forget 10 positive comments. If this happens to you, you are not alone. Most people care about the opinions of others sometimes. We want people to like us, respect us, and accept us. But there is a big difference between listening to useful opinions and allowing every opinion to control your life. When you care too much about what people think, you may begin making choices for them instead of for yourself. You may stop doing things you enjoy. You may hide your real personality. You may even become afraid to try because you think making a mistake will make you look foolish. Imagine a young woman named Mia. Mia is learning English, and she understands a lot when she listens. But when she has an opportunity to speak, she becomes nervous. She thinks, what if my grammar is wrong? What if my pronunciation sounds strange? What if they think my English is terrible? So Mia stays quiet. She knows the answer, but she does not raise her hand. She wants to talk to an English speaker, but she decides not to. Her biggest problem is not her English. It is her fear of other people's opinions. Now imagine that Mia slowly stops worrying so much about what people think. One day, she speaks even though she knows she may make mistakes. She says a sentence, and yes, she makes a small grammar mistake. But something surprising happens. Nothing terrible happens. The conversation continues. The other person understands her. Mia realizes, I made a mistake. And I am still okay. That small experience teaches her something important. Mistakes often feel much bigger in our minds than they really are. This idea is useful far beyond learning English. Maybe you want to go to the gym, but you think everyone will watch you. Maybe you want to dance, but you are worried that you will look silly. Maybe you want to start a business, change your hairstyle, travel alone, or share your ideas online. Before you even begin, you imagine people judging you. So instead of asking, what do I want? You ask, what will they think? When this happens again and again, other people's imagined opinions can begin controlling your decisions. But what happens when you stop caring so much? First, you often feel lighter. You do not spend as much energy trying to impress everyone. You understand that different people will always have different opinions. One person may love what you do, another person may dislike it, and another person may not care at all. You cannot control all of these reactions. Trying to make everyone happy is an impossible job. When you understand this, you can put more energy into the things you can actually control. You can control how you behave. You can control how hard you work. You can choose whether you are kind, honest, respectful, and willing to learn. But you cannot completely control what another person thinks about you. Imagine you give a presentation at work or school. One person thinks it was excellent. Another person thinks it was too simple. Another person is thinking about lunch and hardly remembers your presentation. Which opinion should control your entire day? This does not mean you should ignore everyone. Sometimes people give us useful advice. A teacher may correct your English because they want to help you improve. A good friend may tell you that you made a bad decision. A manager may explain something you need to improve at work. Useful feedback can help us grow. The goal is not to say, I do not care about anyone. The goal is to understand which opinions deserve your attention and which opinions you can let go. Ask yourself two simple questions. Does this person know me well? And is this advice helping me become better? If the answer is yes, listen carefully. But if a stranger makes a rude comment about something you enjoy, You do not have to carry that comment with you all day. Their opinion is information, not a command. You can hear it without allowing it to decide who you are. And something interesting begins to happen when you understand this. You become more willing to try. You speak, even when your English is not perfect. You ask questions without worrying that they are too simple. You share an idea even when someone may disagree. You begin choosing your clothes, hobbies, goals, and daily activities because they feel right for you, not because you are constantly waiting for approval. Little by little, fear loses some of its power. And when fear loses some of its power, confidence has more space to grow. But confidence does not mean thinking, everyone will like me. Real confidence sounds more like this. Some people may like me, some may not, and I will still be okay. This is an important difference. If your confidence depends on everyone approving of you, it can disappear very quickly. One negative comment can ruin your mood. But when your confidence comes from knowing your own values, it becomes much stronger. Let's imagine Mia again. She joins an English conversation group and decides to speak more. At first, her voice is quiet, and she thinks carefully before every sentence. Then she says a word incorrectly. Someone politely helps her with the pronunciation. In the past, Mia might have felt embarrassed and stopped talking. This time, she smiles and says, "Thank you. Let me try again." She repeats the word and continues the conversation. The mistake becomes a learning moment instead of a reason to hide. This is one of the biggest changes that can happen when you stop worrying so much about judgment. You become more comfortable being a beginner. Beginners make mistakes. Beginners ask simple questions. Beginners sometimes need help. There is nothing strange about that. You cannot become good at something without first being new at it. If you refuse to look like a beginner, you may never give yourself enough time to become experienced. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. At first, you may lose your balance. You may move slowly. Someone watching you might ride much better than you. But if you stop because you are embarrassed, you never improve. English works in a similar way. So does cooking, dancing, public speaking, learning a new job, or creating something for the first time. Improvement usually looks imperfect at the beginning. Another thing changes too. Making decisions becomes easier. Imagine you want to take an evening class. You are excited about it, but then you start thinking, will my friends think this is strange? Will my family understand? What if someone says I am wasting my time? You can spend days thinking about reactions that have not even happened. When you stop giving imagined opinions so much power, you can ask better questions. Is this important to me? Will I learn something useful? Does this choice fit my goals? Notice that this is not selfishness. You can care about other people and still make your own decisions. You can be kind without saying yes to everything. You can respect someone without agreeing with them. You can listen to advice and still choose a different path. This is a healthy skill because your life contains choices that only you can make. Learning to say no is part of this too. Some people say yes because they are afraid of disappointing others. A friend asks them to go somewhere, and they say yes, even though they are exhausted. Someone asks them for a favor, and they agree even though they do not have enough time. They think, if I say no, maybe this person will be angry with me. So they keep saying yes, and slowly they become stressed. A polite no does not make you a bad person. You can say, sorry, I can't today. You can say, thank you for inviting me, but I already have plans. You can say, I'd love to help, but I don't have enough time this week. These sentences are respectful and clear. You do not always need a long explanation. Sometimes a simple answer is enough. Now let's talk about social media. Social media can make us think about other people's opinions more than before. You post a photo and check how many people liked it. You share an idea and wait for comments. Someone leaves one negative comment, and suddenly that comment becomes the only thing you can think about. You may begin comparing your life with people you see online. Their lives look exciting, successful, beautiful, and perfect. But you are usually seeing only a small part of their lives. You see the vacation photo, but you do not see every difficult day. You see someone celebrating success, but you may not see the years of work before it. Comparison can make your own progress feel small. That is why it is useful to return your attention to your own life. Ask, am I learning? Am I improving? Am I becoming the person I want to be? There is another surprising benefit when you stop trying to impress everyone. You can become more natural around people. You do not need to carefully plan every sentence. You do not need to pretend that you like something just because everyone else likes it. If someone says, I love horror movies, you can politely say, they're not really for me. I prefer comedy. You have expressed a different opinion without attacking anyone. And people may actually find it easier to connect with you because they are meeting the real you. Healthy relationships do not require two people to agree about everything. Friends can enjoy different music. Coworkers can have different ideas. Two people can disagree and still respect each other. When you understand that disagreement is not always rejection, conversations become less frightening. You also begin to understand that embarrassment does not last forever. Maybe you answer a question incorrectly in class. Maybe you forget a word during a conversation. Maybe you walk into the wrong room or say something awkward. For a moment, you feel uncomfortable, but people usually return to their own lives very quickly. What feels like a huge moment to you may be a tiny moment to everyone else. And this gives you freedom to practice something powerful, doing small things even when you feel a little uncomfortable. Speak first, ask the question, give your opinion politely, try the new activity. Say no when you need to. Every time you do this and discover that you can handle the result, you teach yourself that other people's opinions do not have to control your next step. Little by little, this can change the way you live. You may notice that you spend less time replaying conversations in your head. You stop asking yourself, why did I say that? Or, did they think I sounded stupid? Of course, you may still have these thoughts sometimes. The goal is not to remove every worried thought. The goal is to stop giving every worried thought your full attention. A thought can enter your mind without becoming the truth. For example, imagine you speak English with someone new. After the conversation, you think, my English sounded terrible. Stop and ask yourself, is that really true? Maybe you made 2 mistakes, but the person understood you. Maybe you forgot one word, but you found another way to explain your idea. Maybe the conversation lasted 10 minutes. Instead of focusing only on your mistakes, notice what went well too. You spoke, communicated, listened, and practiced. This is a much healthier way to measure progress. Do not ask, was I perfect? Ask, did I try? Did I communicate? Did I learn something? These questions help you focus on growth instead of approval. If you practice English today and make mistakes, you can still be better than you were yesterday. Progress does not always look perfect. Sometimes, progress simply means doing something that you were too afraid to do before. Another helpful habit is to notice whose opinion you are worried about. Is it someone you respect? Is it someone who understands your goals? Is this person trying to help you? Or are you worried about a stranger who knows almost nothing about your life? Not every opinion deserves the same amount of attention. You can listen to people you trust while still thinking for yourself. You can accept useful criticism without accepting every negative comment. Let's imagine Mia one final time. A few months have passed, and she is speaking English much more often. Her English is still not perfect, and sometimes she searches for words. But now she starts conversations instead of waiting for other people to speak first. She asks questions in class. She laughs when she makes a funny mistake. She even helps newer students who feel nervous. The biggest change is not that Mia suddenly knows every English word. The biggest change is that fear no longer makes every decision for her. One day, a new student says, "I'm afraid to speak because people might laugh at my English." Mia understands this feeling very well. She says, I used to feel the same way, but mistakes helped me improve. That simple sentence shows how much she has changed. She did not wait until she felt completely fearless. She practiced while she was nervous, and slowly speaking became easier. Courage often begins before confidence arrives. You can practice this in your own life with very small actions. If you usually stay quiet in English class, ask one question. If you are afraid to speak to someone new, simply say, Hi, how are you? If you have an idea at work, share one sentence about it. If you like something that your friends do not like, you can say, I understand, but I actually enjoy it. You do not need to change your whole personality in one day. Remember, stopping caring what people think does not mean becoming rude or ignoring everyone. It means creating a healthy balance. Listen to good advice. Respect other people. Apologize when you hurt someone. Learn when you make a real mistake. But do not build your whole life around avoiding judgment. Someone will always have an opinion, no matter what you choose. If you speak, someone may disagree with you. If you stay quiet, someone may wonder why you never speak. If you try something new, someone may criticize you. If you never try, you may later wish that you had. You cannot create a life where nobody ever judges you. But you can create a life where judgment does not automatically stop you. So the next time you hear that worried voice asking, What will people think? Try asking another question. What do I think? Ask yourself what matters to you, what you want to learn, and what kind of person you want to become. Then take one small step in that direction. You may still feel nervous, and that is okay. Confidence grows when you learn that you can act even when nervousness is present. Before we finish, let's review the main ideas from today. Other people's opinions can be useful, but they should not control every decision you make. Listen carefully to people who know you, respect you, and want to help you grow. Let unnecessary criticism pass without carrying it everywhere. Allow yourself to be a beginner. Make mistakes, ask questions, express your opinions respectfully, and learn to say no when you need to. Most importantly, remember that your life becomes smaller when fear makes all your choices. When you worry less about impressing everyone, you have more space to learn, explore, speak, create, and grow. You may discover new interests. You may meet new people. You may become more comfortable speaking English. And you may realize that many of the things you were afraid of were much bigger in your imagination than they were in real life. Thank you for listening to Speak English for Beginners. I am Emma, and I am very happy you practiced English with me today. Keep learning, keep speaking, and give yourself permission to make mistakes along the way. You do not need everyone's approval to keep moving forward. Take one small, brave step today, and then another tomorrow. See you in the next podcast.